Hello everybody, my name is KingStix and I have a brand new video for you today. We're going to be looking at Twitch in the jungle. I really like him because he does so well in placement games and I've been doing heaps and heaps of placement games lately. I am going to be starting at my blue buff because my top laner in the past couple games hasn't been giving me a leash, which really sucks. So I'm just going to start at blue buff, play it safe, get a good leash for my bot lane, then go to my red buff. Twitch really can't gank before it gets red buff. There's no kill pressure and no damage. Veigar is getting pushed in, Renekton's pushing up on the Nasus, so I'm going to gank him, go invisible before I walk by any bushes that would be warded, which would have been the river one. I want to get all the way behind him before I start autoing. Even if he flashes now, he won't be able to get past me, so he doesn't use his flash. Keep shooting him until my E nearly kills him and Nasus does get the kill. I don't really want to stay and push this since Renekton has teleport. It's not really going to do us much good. He's still going to catch the wave. I really want to check on Rengar's blue buff because if he did the normal Rengar clear, which is 2 camps and then blue buff, he should be at here right now. Gonna walk up, put a ward in it. If he's in the bush, I'm going to kill him. And if he's already started it, I'm going to kill him. The only way Rengar wouldn't have died in this situation is if he would have went into my jungle and taken my wolves and Gromp. That's pretty much the only way he could have possibly survived. One thing that's really important, I can't stress enough, is if you are going to go into their blue buff like this after ganking top lane or mid lane, you need to make sure that you have a ward to put in the bush. Otherwise, you're going to be in a weird situation. If they keep running in and out of the bush, you won't be able to shoot them. After killing Rengar, of course, I stayed to take his blue since he wasn't alive to contest me. Gonna go invisible, come up behind the Veigar. Once I'm behind him, throw down my W, auto attack. I do run in the stun, which was bad of me. Even if I didn't run into it though, I definitely wasn't going to be able to kill him, and we did get the Veigar's flash, so it was a successful gank. Renekton's flash is still up, so I'm going to keep that in mind when I come to gank him. I want to go invisible before I get to the bush, just in case if it is warded, it won't be able to see me. I want to try to get completely behind before I open up, throw out my W, auto attack, keep moving, and keep auto attacking him E, and I flash in to get one last auto attack because I know my poison in the early levels does almost nothing, and he probably would have lived if I didn't flash in to finish him off. This is a good point to back. I have a lot of gold and I'm below half HP with no potions. Going back, getting the saber and getting my daggers, trying to get the blood razor as fast as I can. Core damage item for Twitch. Whenever you are taking the raptors, try to get 2 autos off on 2 of the little ones, Wing the whole camp, smiting the big one, and then pressing E. You want to kill 2 of the little ones and the big one in one swoop. Otherwise, if you leave all the little ones alive at once, you'll take a lot more damage. I'm already in the area. Veigar has no flash. I'm going to come up and wait for him. He's not really here, so I'm just going to wait until he walks up so I can get off some damage. I know I can't kill him. Open up with W, auto attack, E. I just want to get off a little bit of poke damage, and if he wasn't paying attention, I would have gotten off the 3rd auto, which would have made my press the attack do loads of extra damage on it and my E do even more with the expunge. I'm just going to wait for my Q to come back up, lay my pink ward, go invisible. Veigar's being very greedy and not paying attention to where I was, so he didn't even notice. I go invisible, come up right on him, W, auto attack. I'm going to stand still so I don't walk into the cage. As he gets out of my auto attack range, then I press E and he dies from my passive poison and the red smite burn. Now that Veigar is dead, there's no point in me staying mid since Renekton is pushed top and Renekton doesn't have flash. I'm going to pick up these plants to get some mana back, go invisible before I really get to the bush, and now Renekton is essentially dead since he's pushed up so far. He's going to walk backwards into it. I'm going to throw out my W, keep auto attacking him. Watch how I don't keep walking backwards because I didn't want him to dash completely through me and get away. I made sure to get closer to the wall, that way he didn't have a direct line to his turret. After I can no longer reach him with my auto attacks, I then use my E to finish him off. Rengar is here. I just got my ultimate from a dying minion. I'm going to open up on him as he chases the Nasus. Don't have vision of the bush, so I just have to wait to auto him as he jumps out. Keep autoing him and then finishing him off with my E. 2 more kills for me, and I can easily carry the game at this point. As long as I don't do anything stupid, I can pretty much 1v9 this game. I'm so fed, I can solo Rengar even if we're both full HP, 1v1. My ultimate's down, so I kind of need my red buff for a lot of kill pressure. While my Q is down after doing red buff, I want to take raptors because I can't do anything while my Q is on cooldown. I can't gank a lane. I see Rengar already going for his red as I was doing the raptors, so I'm motioning towards mid lane and towards his blue buff. Veigar is playing like a complete pussy, so unfortunately I can't really do anything. I get off a few autos and then use my E, get off a little bit of damage for him. It's quite a bit of lane pressure, believe it or not, for the Zed. Now, if Zed and Veigar get in a trade, there's really no way for the Veigar to win. I'm just waiting for my Q to come back up, and since I already had a pink in this bush, I knew he couldn't actually see me. Gonna run up, throw my W behind him, activate ultimate, smite him with the red buff smite. I get off a solid amount of damage. Unfortunately, he does flash, but trading my ultimate for his flash is a pretty good trade in my book. I lingered mid lane a little bit too long. Rengar had a little bit too long to his blue buff. I shoot the plant coming in, assuming he was still going to be doing it. I didn't take into account how long I lingered for. I can't fight Rengar 1v1 since I didn't have a ward in the bush and he had to drop on me with more HP. If I could have done it over again, I would have just walked around, warded the bush from the outside, and at that way I would have never really been in any danger, would have been playing it safe, and I probably could have killed him 1v1 at that point. They're underneath their turret, 3v2. There's nowhere for them to really go. Nasus is really tanky. Run up to Rengar, finish him off. There's really no shame in kill stealing on Twitch because you really are the hyper carry. And anyways, that wasn't really that much of a kill steal since Rengar might have gotten away if I didn't try to take the kill there. Nasus is backing, Renekton is dead, which is why I stayed to kill all of the minions, shoving my minions into the turret so he'd lose as many minions as possible. By doing this, I also forced the Renekton teleport because he didn't want to miss any minions. Now Renekton can't easily roam or teleport bot lane to gank because then he'll lose his turret. Now, as you see Renekton roam bot, Nasus can sit there and cream on his turret. Since Renekton doesn't have teleport, Renekton keeps chasing because he's desperate to get some gold. I'm going to follow in and clean up the kill. But the moral of the story is since Renekton used his teleport, he put himself in a position to where he overchased, desperate to get a kill. Even if he backed off, the top turret still would have gone down. So he was really in a lose-lose situation. The enemies are playing very defensive right now. It's getting harder and harder to get kills. We've taken more of their turrets, so they're farther back on their side of the map. So the farther we push in, it puts us at more risk. So right now, you really need to focus on objectives. So I took my buffs, and now I'm going to work on the Rift Herald so we can start forcing some more turrets. And once Baron comes up, if we have the end of the game, of course, we can do Baron as well. I have Herald, and now I need to group with my team, try to get some kills, and lay the Herald. Try not to lay the Herald before you get a kill or two, otherwise the enemies will just run up and kill the Herald as you guys are trying to use it. It's really best to use it whenever there's not many enemies to contest you, because Herald does more damage based off of how much health it has, and the lower on health Herald gets, it does less damage. Our team isn't grouping very well, and I am doing with the Zed, so I'm looking to make some plays with him. Renekton's out of position. I hit him with my W, start attacking with my red buff, smite him, activate ultimate, Renekton flashes away, so I flash with him, auto attack E, finish him off. And now, as you can see, most of the enemies are on the bot side of the map, so now is a good time to use the Herald. There's no one to contest it or hurt the Herald, so we can get quite a bit of map power. Following the Herald in, we take a whole turret and a half, which is a solid use of the Herald. We could have used it at a better time, but I feel like a turret and a half is pretty good for how early we are in the game. It's a lot better to get a turret and a half or a whole turret out of your Herald rather than holding onto it to the point where you can't use it or you're dead and you get zero use out of the Herald. The enemies all group up to force us off, that way we don't get their inhibitor, which allows our bot lane to get the enemy turret and a free dragon. So overall, the turret and a half was actually 2 turrets and a half and a dragon. It goes to show that if you apply pressure on the map, it's a snowball effect. It allows your teammates to apply pressure on the map and to get more stuff done, and it cripples the enemy team. Now, I'm not saying your teammates will do the right thing and apply pressure. Sometimes they'll just farm jungle camps, but in general, if you're making the right plays, it will increase your chances of winning. Don't think that Twitch jungle is your free pass to winning games in low elo or in your placement games. If you are going to be playing Twitch in the jungle, it's important to pick him based on your team comp. If your team doesn't have a single tank, you should not be picking Twitch jungle. You'll have nobody to pill for you and nobody to tank for you. If your team is already all AD, you should really avoid picking Twitch jungle. It'll put you in a bit of a weird spot. I do recognize that my team right now is full AD, but since I am so comfortable on Twitch jungle and I know I can get myself ahead in placement games and in low elo, there's really no danger for me picking him in a full AD team. I'm saying for you guys though, you really need to be careful about that, because if the game goes in the late game, the enemy tanks will just stack up armor and you really can't shred through them very quickly at all. You may have noticed I don't have boots. Twitch jungle doesn't really need boots as long as you take Relentless Hunter. If you're not taking Domination, your secondary tree, and taking Relentless Hunter, which you should be, you definitely will need to buy boots. Otherwise, your early game will be negatively impacted by your poor mobility. I stayed to do the blue buffs instead of red buff. I'm going to be healing fast, plus I'm lifestealing off of the blue buff because of my jungle item. I'm going to help out Nasus when Rengar goes in. After Rengar went on the Nasus, there's really no getting away because the Nasus slow. Also, I was there. There's nowhere for Rengar to go since his ultimate was already down. Zed shouldn't have died here. Braum was being a dingleberry and walked forward and shielded the Nautilus hook instead of hitting the Renekton to apply the slow. If Braum really cared about the Nautilus hooking one of us, he could have just stepped in front of it anyways like he already did. There's no need for him to get even closer. Luckily, we do pick up the Nautilus. I go back invisible off of the reset. There's nothing really for me here since my ultimate's down and I also don't have red buff. Gonna go ahead and back, spend my 3k gold. I'm really starting to like getting Blade of the Rune King. I usually like to get it after the last Whisper. I find it works really well since Blade of the Rune King does a lot of physical damage, so does my jungle item. So after I have my jungle item, Hurricane, and last Whisper, I typically go for Blade of the Rune King now. I'm so far ahead, Rengar tries to solo me, he doesn't even come close. I'm invisible when I run into Veigar stun, so he doesn't even know I'm here. Zed does go in, so I activate my ultimate to try to help him out. Otherwise, I wouldn't have activated my ultimate that soon because Veigar was towards the end of my range. Me ulting early pays off, we kill Veigar, Zed gets away. Renekton keeps pushing towards us, but I use my Q reset for the movement speed and invisibility. As he dashes 40, can't quite get me. I throw out my W, keep auto attacking him. Nasus and Braum do a good job at holding the front line, and the enemy team gets completely wiped. At this point, we could have just done Baron and ended, but my team was being a bunch of dingleberries. Zed's the only one who followed. So instead, we got an inhibitor, breaking down a turret and another inhibitor instead of just doing Baron and taking their whole base. Not too big of a deal. We are so far ahead, the enemy team can't really defend against us even though we don't have Baron buff. I do need my ultimate to be up before I can really go in here. Nautilus uses his hook before he sees me, so there's nothing he can do. I keep auto attacking. The enemy team had already engaged, so they had no way of really getting onto me. My ultimate is up now, 4 of them are already dead. On Twitch, having your ultimate is a really good feeling. It gives you a lot of range and a lot more punch. But if you're patient, positioned properly, and going at the right time, you can still have a lot of impact. For example, Renekton had already used his dash, Veigar had already used his E, Nautilus had already used his hook before they knew where I was. So when I opened up onto them, they had no real way of getting to me. All I had to do was keep shooting and moving. And by moving, Nautilus couldn't auto attack me to snare me. And like I said, since they already used all their gap closers, they had no way of getting to me. If I did stand still though, I would have definitely died. It's a good thing I know how to attack move click. If you don't know how to attack move click, you should be practicing that against bots or in normals. You really shouldn't be picking a attack move click difficult champion like Twitch in ranked if you aren't familiar on how to use attack move click properly or efficiently. If you're not familiar with attack move click or what it is or how to do it, definitely check out my marksman guide on how to kite like a pro using attack move click. It's a really quick guide on how to kite, auto attack, and move properly without missing a beat. And that is going to wrap up this video. If you guys want to support the channel, join the Discord down in the description below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah.